around the world here within the community. Good morning to everyone over who's just seeing the sun rising. I think I saw Marlene say that where she is in the world, the sun has just gone and risen. I know Europe is going through, their day, so good day to you, and of course to my fellow Australians and also New Zealanders and Polynesians to the east of me. Good evening. Now, guys, we've actually done this. It has been a very big slog over the last 3 months, but albeit very, very rewarding. And it's with this sort of announcement that I have to go and say that this will be the very last Global Unit Pay and FNT webinars that actually go and feature both Annette or myself. But before we go and proceed, ladies and gentlemen, please go and put some love hearts or some plus signs if you can see me correctly, you can hear me crystal clear. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping, guys. If you do only go and speak a language that isn't English, I do apologize, guys. We're trying to go and get the slides translated in your language. You just need to go and have one of your country leaders actually speak to some of the guys in the FNT group, and we can go and issue you out those slides so you can translate it in your own languages so you don't miss out. The other thing as well is that when it comes to any questions, guys, we will go and do maybe a few quick questions tonight, just because this is the very last one. Let's try and steer it more towards a bit of a celebration, because above all else, the fact that we are here with you today, that I can go and deliver this message, goes and says that we've actually done it. We have gone and made sure that both of these projects have been grown from just a simple concept into now being able to feature and play a significant role and significant part within the global arena and the global market. How amazing is that, guys? Let's get some fire emojis. Let's get some love hearts. I love your engagement. And because this is the last one, I'm going to go and need you guys to go and be on your absolute best game. So without further ado, let's jump to the next slide. So for those people who are in the chat today, ladies and gentlemen, please put a 1 in the chat if this is the first time that you've ever gone and seen anything Global Unit Pay, anything FNT. Tom, come on, mate. Always the larrikin, aren't you? All right, perfect. So we've just got the same old crowd. Lovely. If you can as well, share this amongst all of your socials, on Facebook, on Telegram, whichever groups that you are with, with your Evorich brethren. Share the link, guys. We haven't gotten started just yet. We're still just going through all the housekeeping and the introductions and whatnot. And of course, this is being streamed on Facebook and will be uploaded to YouTube in a few hours after this is being completed. So for those people who don't know who I am, my name is Aidan Ward. I used to be the project manager of Global Unit Pay, and I used to go and work very, very closely with the CEO of not just Global Unit Pay, but also FNT as well. So to go and see this go and be just basically a concept to, now being taken out of our ecosystem as a really, really promising crypto project within the IEO space, this is very, very exciting. And it's my absolute pleasure and honor to be able to go and deliver these presentations to each and every single one of you. So let's jump to the next slide, guys. So program, as you guys who have gone and seen all of our presentations in this sort of format, know the drill. We like to go and start off with why. Because every business, every project, every venture, anything that anyone ever goes and strives to achieve in life always goes and stems from what is the purpose? What is the problem that needs to go and be solved? And what is the solution? Where does the love and the dedication and the trust and the bullishness to go and get things over the line in the face of adversity actually go and come from? So we always go and start with why. After that, we're going to move straight into the hows, and then of course following up with the whats. And the hows are really good for you to go and understand why certain features are actually in there in order for us to go and solve the problem. How do we go and add value to the global arena, to the global market? Considering as well that the payment system space is becoming very, very saturated. And we all know just how overflow, I guess is the best word for it. It is with the crypto market. It can actually be very, very difficult to go and differentiate as to which project is actually the best one that meets your plans. And for you to go and come in as a MLCI professional or as an Evorich co-owner and actually go and share this sort of information and this knowledge to other people who may just be looking at this for the first time. This is vitally important, and it goes and gives you guys each the confidence and the competence to ensure that we are forever growing our ecosystem, that we are forever growing our community, so that we're not just 1.7 million strong, that we can go into the 5s, the 10s, the 20s, even the 50 millions in a short amount of time. And then following up with the what's. So what is it that goes and separates us from the bulk of the markets in both the payment system niche as well as perhaps the fintech space, as well as cryptocurrencies as well? And that's why we've combined both global unit pay in the first part of this presentation alongside with a little bit of FNT as well. And if you guys need to go and have a dedicated FNT breakdown on the project, so that when we go and launch in the future, you guys are going to be armed to the teeth with information and use cases, so that we can still externally drive the success of FNT, drive the success externally through global unit pay, even though we still go and have global unit pay feature as a very prominent component of our ecosystem, being both the on-ramp and the off-ramp. It's important to go and know what the benefits are, so that when you have new people go and come on board for the first time, you can go and explain it in a way that goes and blows their mind. Exactly, Tom. We love GUP. Man, I can't believe it's already been 2 years. Let's jump on to the next slide. So, would we go and agree that these problems that you see before you right now have become ever present in the last couple of months? High rates and fees have kind of been a staple. That comes with supply and demand. A lot of arrogance that goes and comes with CEOs of particular projects who think that perhaps because the demand is so high within crypto adoption, crypto enthusiasm, that they can go and charge through the nose in order to facilitate a on-ramp, off-ramp, or a OTC trade, or anything involving crypto fiat transfers and mergers, right? Unsecure providers. We've gone and heard so much in the news recently in regards to unsecure providers, hearing of exchange after exchange after exchange after exchange after exchange, all file for Chapter 11 and, filing for bankruptcy. This goes and really puts a fear of just how secure is my crypto wealth? How secure is, the last 5, 7, 10 years of me just, investing 10% here, 10% there, 10% here, 10% there, and so on and so forth. That's gone and built a huge nest egg, and I can go and see that the 8 rules have really gone and worked in my favor, that it is all easy to apply knowledge, and then to have it just go disappear because it was kept on perhaps not as secure, provider or platform as what it was a few years ago. Crypto accounts as well. We see so many scams happening in the crypto space, and that just comes from people exploiting the fact that crypto is still a very young market. And it's still emerging, and it's still ever evolving, especially as we're transitioning from Web 2 to Web 3 as well. Things are going to go and get a lot more abstract, a lot more avant-garde, a lot more fantastical, I think might be a better word for it, but still very grounded, if that makes any sense, guys. And then, of course, the big one that we're seeing happen all across the globe, especially with what Binance has just gone and issued as of Sunday, you know, with regards to the withdrawal limitations that they've gone and put on, to mention all the global regulations that we've gone and seen go in and drastically change the way that the digital asset space has actually been conducted. And that's only within the last 2.5 years. As co-owners, we would be very well aware as to what sort of difference global regulations can actually go and be made once they are changed and once they are tweaked. And it is very, very difficult to go and stay on top of that at any given time. Next slide, please. So this is our why. And this is, without taking too much credit for it, this is probably the statement that best fits the last 2 years working with Global Unipay. And it really does go and factor in, you know, the idea that we went and had within Evorich, and that was done when Marshall and Valentin were heading the project at that time, which was to go and provide crypto fiat solutions for our community. And then after that, it has then since gone and evolved after, say, June in 2021, when, you know, Valentin came back from Moscow at Tech Week and went and said, I am confident that we are going to go and be the difference in the payment system market, that we can go and be the best in the world. That is a true anecdote and recount as to what happened on one specific meeting that I had when I was still very green behind the ears. So we go and read that by ensuring our platform meets the international standard of security, availability, and functionality, we will have a world-class crypto fiat payment institution that ensures a thriving environment of globalized wealth empowerment without discrimination. Does that go and fit the model of the new economic evolution of the world to yourselves? Is that congruent with the mission? Is that congruent with everything that you've gone and seen that Global Unipay has gone and been able to go and solve for our community, and now also big time players in the payment space? This is huge, guys. And as co-owners, this is our baby that's gone and been able to grow from nothing into something. Yes, that's right. Get all the applause and all the love hearts out of the way. Yes. Let's go and smash those reactions. It goes and fills me up with joy. Next slide, please. So in a snapshot, I mean, that's what this presentation really was, is basically a snapshot, but then elaborated in many, many different ways. We've covered the whys, and now we're going to go into the hows, right? And with any payment system, after conducting well over 6 months of market research into you know, what they're offering, what we can go and offer, what are the differences, et cetera, it really goes and comes down to basically these 4 primary functions, right? Number 1, to go and deposit or withdraw via SEPA or SWIFT, or any other financial system that may be popping up in the future, you know, to go and ensure that people are able to go and move their funds from one platform to the next, you know, with minimal difficulties and maximum ease. That is always going to go and be a big component as to why a payment system is successful or not. The second component, banking cards, right? You need to go and have payment cards, and there's a couple of reasons for it. Number 1, convenience. It's also really good for brand recognition as well, to go and, you know, whip out your wallet and then go and smack your GUP card on PayPass and everything, and you know, pay for shoes or hotels or movies, or it can go and start up a real good conversation, even at bars as well. I know a couple of the partners here in Australia, when we have actually gone out to bars in our extracurricular activities to actually go and use the Global Unit Pay card. It's like, oh, I've never seen one of those before. It's like, oh yeah, well, you know, we're actually co-owner of this payment system. No, wait, what? That all goes and works, right? But probably the more subtle benefit from a company standpoint of having banking cards as a service that is provided is the fact that it goes and it minimizes funds being moved to another platform. All right, and I'll give you an example. Right, so there is a specific competitor that goes and offers very much the same sort of services with the OTC exchange, you know, banking cards, SEPA SWIFT transfers, and also multi-currency accounts, right? I'm not going to go and specify the name on here, but they have a green card. Now, this specific company has made it in the past very, very difficult to go and withdraw via SEPA or SWIFT, or they've gone and abolished it entirely, right? You can go and deposit, but you can't go and withdraw. So what that basically means is that they have to go and have a card that people can go and use funds and have a specific use case to go and, you know, continue business. Does that make sense, guys? It might be a very nuanced sort of idea behind it, but this is a huge thing. And the fact that we have the cards available within Global Unit Pay, and not just any plastic cards, but with the benefits of having, you know, wooden cards for all you green enthusiasts out there. Don't worry, I'm in that same boat now as well, but probably not to that extent. You know, to go and have high limit cards, to go and have, you know, even the metal, the platinum cards, you know, all of these things go and cater to a different sort of market, to a different sort of audience, to a different sort of user, to a different sort of consumer. But each and every single one of them goes and creates brand awareness, and it goes and instills a lot of loyalty in your brand. So something to think about. Multi-currency accounts is very, very good for, I suppose, using on different sort of platforms. So as we've seen, right, you know, you can go and top up your card via euros, right? You can't do it with USD, you can't do it with Swiss francs. It has to be euro. What would we normally go and use that's done in USD? We go and top up our back office, right, to go and get some FNTs, or maybe some EVSN packages, or maybe the NFTs, or maybe even some SolB as well, which is super exciting, by the way. Don't go and lose sleep over the good old SolB, all right? But you have to go and do units, which is in USD. So imagine if we went and didn't go and have, say, the USD component of Global Unit Pay, you would have to go and shift those funds to another platform altogether. So by having different sort of currencies, you actually go and have different sort of use cases and different sort of functionalities with different sort of platforms. I look forward to the day that we've got the AUD or the Canadian dollar, or even, you know, the Vietnamese dong, because that's going to go and open up a whole ton of platforms that otherwise we wouldn't be able to go and get the most benefit out of, because of the currency locks. That is still a very real thing, just very, very subtle. You don't hear much about it. And then, of course, you need to have OTC crypto exchange, over-the-counter crypto exchange. And the best example, and I'm going to go and skip over this one probably a little bit quickly, because you know, we've gone and covered this already before last week, which is basically with what I mentioned before with the exchanges. You know, best way to go and instill security is actually to go and ensure that an exchange that is likely or at risk of filing for a Chapter 11 or bankruptcy, or having some really untoward actions taken on that sort of company, well, you still need to go and store your crypto somewhere, right? Why not go and do it with a FinTech platform that's under Swiss jurisdiction and actually goes and prioritizes security, confidentiality, and still goes and offers you that availability. So you can still go and buy Bitcoin. You can still go and sell your Bitcoin. You can go and exchange it for Ethereum. You can exchange it for Tron. You can shift that Tron to another exchange, to another platform, all altogether. It's very versatile, and it goes and adds, once again, more use cases in the way of what sort of functionality that you can actually go and benefit from. I know it's a bit long-winded, but it's super, super important that we understand just those 4 main points. Just those 4 main points. And then you'll be able to go and come across from a level of expertise and professionalism that goes and really blows everyone's mind, or whoever you're actually speaking to, and actually just knock them for 6. Like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. You're very astute with what you're talking. It's like, of course, it's my payment system. What are you even on about? And have a little bit of a cheeky laugh as well. Just have fun, right? Next slide, please. So these are really the credentials of Global Unit Pay. And we've gone and seen this many times. But what basically seems maybe like white noise to us, because we have gone and seen all of these this information. This is super important to anyone who's looking at Global Unit Pay for the first time, because we will be able to go and show the legitimacy. You have the office address for one, which is a physical office. It's not just an address, it's a physical office. You can go walk through Johannesstrasse in Zurich and actually go and knock on the door and say, hey, Valentin, it's me, insert name. Let's have a coffee, sort of thing. You do have that option too. Probably don't go and do it too much. He's not going to appreciate me saying that, because he's absolutely under the pump. But hypothetically speaking, you could absolutely do that. So we're just going to go straight over. Big one is that we're in over 160 countries. We have over 50,000 registered users. We're getting very close to the 200 company or corporate account mark as well, which is a huge milestone for a company that's only just now celebrating their 2nd birthday, about a fortnight ago, which is very, very exciting. But above all else, guys, this is also a proof of probably the first year of Global Unit Pay, where we went and made massive leaps, pretty much before we could walk effectively. And thus we are award winning, and actually did receive the recognition of the world's best crypto payment provider by crypto.com for 2021. Pretty amazing, huh? Yeah, I knew that was coming, Marlene. Thank you for your endless support. Next slide, please. So let's go and cover basically these 5 key parts of Global Unit Pay. And if you were to go in and have this in a folder to actually go and show each of your, I suppose, new partners or potential clients, right? They will be absolutely blown away, right? You talk about the fact that we've got banking services, which are active right now. There are ways to actually go and get an IBAN through one of our Liechtenstein banking partners. Also, you need to go and speak with support about that in terms of the conditions, but it is available. The OTC exchange that we went and said, which goes and adds more security while not, I suppose, diminishing someone's crypto enthusiasm. The listing and the card branding. We spoke about this last week and at the end of last year as well. New crypto projects wanting to go and be part of an audience, wanting to go and make a big splash, as we enter into a bull market, or we're still, dwelling in a bear market. They want to go and make a big exclamation point of difference, how they can go and stand out. And, they can go and list on Global Unit Pay. There is a process, but it is possible. They can go and have their own brand on a payment card for their people, their holders, their traders, their stakers, their partners as well, that they can go and use to go and pay for hotels, pay for flights, and go and buy coffee in Naples or Vienna or wherever the wind goes and takes them. You have all of these opportunities, and that goes the same for anyone else that's looking at Global Unit Pay for the first time. And especially in the crypto space, as more enthusiasm goes and rises again, as more adoption goes and grows over time, there are going to be more and more people with their own crypto projects that will be looking for a safe space to go and list their token, which goes hand in hand with OTC exchange as well, just FYI. And finally, probably one of, if not the most important part of global unit pay is that funds that are deposited into any global unit pay account stay there. They are not loaned out to the tune of up to 90%. They aren't shifted to another company, like with what happened with FTX and the partner company that I think Alameda Research, whichever it was, right? This is why those companies went and fell, right? They were doing the dodgy, and you can go and rest assured that Global Unit Pay and FNT as well are always keeping all of their registered users, all of their verified users, all of their clients, all of their consumers, all of their participants, to go and have the absolute best environment for their funds to survive and thrive as well. Next slide, please. So we've gone to cover global unit pay, and that probably takes us through to about 1.5 years since it went and launched, and beyond now as well. But really the game changer for global unit pay came last year at the start of July, where we went and opened up the FNT project, right? And if I can just go and take you right back down to memory lane, FNT was only ever supposed to be a utility token for global unit pay. It was supposed to go and be used in collateral or used in lieu of fiat funds. So, effectively what would happen is that someone would go and, deposit funds into global unit pay, or maybe they went and absolutely slayed the partner program and the, and the MLCI, and they went and withdrew all their units from the back office. And now they're just sitting there like, okay, well, what do I want to go and do? Do I want to go and get a bank account? Do I want to go and perhaps go and get a platinum card, XY? They had options, but perhaps if they were a little bit short, say, of the IBAN accounts, because they might be in a high risk area, or their risk profile might have gone and been put into the high category, which means there's a little bit of a loading. It's just one of those facts of life sort of things, right? Can't be helped. So you would then be able to go and use FNT to go and cover the cost. Now, we all know how that went down. It went down basically amazing. We were able to go in and raise something ridiculous like 800,000 in the space of 4 days, which blew everyone's mind away. But we all know as well that by Eventi last year, the FNT had gone and really developed more. It gained a bit more of an edge, more of a USP, more excitement, more benefit, more wealth producing mechanisms, more measures put in place to safeguard and protect this specific project, surrounded by some of the best minds within the crypto space. Valentin will love me to actually go on saying that about him, but with Alex and Chris Principe, who also went and spoke at Eventi with the likes of Mila doing the marketing. There's a whole team of exceptionally minded individuals who have just come together to go and create the Avengers sort of project. This is the Infinity Gauntlet of what I've gone and seen in terms of instruments that we've brought in the last couple of years. I think it is far beyond the potential of what people have actually gone and given it realization to. And I've tried to go and relay that to each and every single one of you. But if you guys are watching on YouTube in the future from today, being the 24th of January, or you're on Facebook right now, because someone's gone and invited you to the group and you're looking at it for the first time, I'm going to go and show you guys a little bit more of the important parts of FNT, the important components of FNT as to why this is going to go and live up to all of the expectations. Next slide, please. So, number one, We've seen the tokenomics. We know this back to front. We know that there is a 40% reserve, which goes and keeps the liquidity, the FNT, to always go and have a nest egg to provide these benefits, to go and ensure that the services are here for a long, sustainable amount of time. Short of the most erratic catastrophe that could ever go and happen, it's with this specific reserve that goes and creates the spine of how FNT is going to go and perform. The second component, 2 billion total supply. So we times that by the 40% and we're given 1.2 billion that is going to be accessible to the market, which also goes and means that at any one specific time, the absolute most amount of FNTs that will ever go and be in circulation is 1.2 billion, sorry, 1.2 billion, as opposed to times in the past when we've seen, you know, supplies of 35 billion or 45 billion. You know, that's a very saturated number compared to, you know, the amount of holders or users of those specific tokens. But with FNT, because we've gone and done the whitelist for the last 6 months, we've gone and ensured that there are mechanisms in place to go and force upwards pressure on the token, despite anything happening internally or externally for that matter as well. We can go and ensure that our community is always in charge, that our platform can go and be I'm not going to go and say, I'll go and say the sanctuary, right, between the old traditional financial services and the new, you know, avant-garde digital assets, FinTech services merging together onto one platform, giving you the best of both worlds. Sounds pretty good, right? But wait, there's more, because we are always going to go and have a sustainable burning mechanism. Now, for those people who have never gone and seen or heard what a sustainable burning mechanism is, this is what we call the burn buyback. So take an example. If you were to go and have your FNT portfolio, let's say it's at 10,000 for arguments, right? 10,000 FNT, you decide to go and sell, you know, 1,000 FNT onto one of the tier 1, tier 2 exchanges, you know, that we go and launch, right? Out of that, FNT goes and uses the reserve capital, or, you know, the funds that they've actually got, and they go and buy back that 1,000 FNT. What they then go and do is they go and cut it up to half, up to 50%, and go and put it in a burn wallet, which goes and continually reduces the amount of circulating supply. Now, if we know how supply and demand goes and works, if we're maintaining the market cap, but we're reducing the supply or the amount available, then that goes and puts an ever so slight increase in terms of the value of each token. Sounds pretty good, right? It is literally that simple. If you put upwards pressure on a token, you will go and see the value go and rise. If you put upwards pressure on a stock, you will go and see the value go and rise. If you go and put upwards pressure on or pretty much any asset, it will become an appreciating asset, so long as that the upwards pressure goes and is greater than the amount of downwards pressure. If that ratio is more shifting towards an upwards direction, you're going to go and see a capitalization in the positive. Contrast, if you constantly go and have downwards pressure that is beating and is weighing more than the upwards pressure, you're going to go and see a depreciation to whichever asset you're trying to go invest in. That's basic maths. So that's why the burn buyback is so crucially important, because we understand that there are going to be people who go and buy in cheap and then sell at a peak. And we want to make sure that FNT isn't just a flash in the pan. We want it to go and be here for many, 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 many years to come. Next slide, please. So we've got the native token. Now, the native token basically is the fuel to the whole ecosystem. It's the air that goes and breathes life into everything FNT, right? When you're staking, you're using FNT. When you're, making purchases, you're using FNT. When you're going through the, the lending and the borrowing aspect, you're using FNT. Every single function within FNT world is going to go and require you to go and have some supply, some amount of FNT used to go and complete that function. It's probably not going to go and be too much, but because we are using this as well as the fuel to go and keep the ecosystem going, this is also going to go and reduce the supply, but also maintain the market. So as you can see, guys, we're going to be partnering with Global Unit Pay and being able to go and supply Swiss IBANs. We've got those lending and borrowing components as well. If you want to go and find out more, either go and look at the white paper. There'll be a QR code coming up in a couple of slides so that you can go and download it for yourself and find out how it works. Or alternatively, you can jump onto YouTube and have a look at last Thursday's webinar to, actually dive in a little bit more. As I said, there's going to be also earning and staking components to it. There will be more information in regards to what benefits go and yield with that specific function at a later date. And be sure to look out for the business forums or any presentation that Valentin and Alex go and do in my absence, where they'll be able to go and give you those updates in the future as well. Next slide, please. So I've taken this slide as well from Valentin's presentation that he went and did last Wednesday, which was it was a bit of a somber, very exciting sort of vibe as well. But he spoke about the comparisons, which were, I suppose, the ingredients that made FNT possible. What we're seeing here is went and have specific use cases and pride themselves on that sort of reputation, on what sort of benefits they go and provide onto their community and their users and their customers, right? Now, we all know about Crow being the crypto.com token from a ways back. It's still out there, but crypto.com and Crow were very, very pivotal in the cards department, which we've gone and emulated very, very closely in regards to, our basic silver, gold, platinum, and black card to their model. But it wasn't necessarily as sustainable because the cost in order to go and get some of these cards, in order to go and get real benefit, would range anywhere from 300 euros all the way up to 300,000 euros. It was nuts. It just depended on what time you went and got the Crow, what sort of price, what sort of, did you get it at a dip, did you get and get a lot in order to even qualify for those cards. So that's where we've gone and changed our cards department with FNT based on the shortcomings that came from crypto.com and their Crow feature within their ecosystem. Nexo goes and does a lot of the now I've just gone and had a bit of a blank. I believe it was to do with the membership side of things, or the stake. Oh, no, sorry. Nexo was lending and borrowing. So we've got the loan to value cash system, which has been modeled very, very closely on what Nexo went and done. And as you can go and see, their native token was 10 cents when it first was launched, and that went and saw a 40.39% times growth. Compound and double AVE, they go and do a lot of staking with USDT, right? And we've gone and taken a lot of what they've gone and done and gone and implemented it within the ecosystem. So my question to you guys is based on everything that you've gone and seen here, everything you've gone and seen on the Thursday webinars as well, because I know a lot of you, my attendees, don't miss a single webinar, which I absolutely love. But I want to go and hear from you. What do you think FNT could actually go and rise to? What sort of growth multiplier could you go and see within, say, 12 months after it's gone and launched? So at the end of next year. Tom reckons $3.60. Mate, we will be laughing if it gets to $3.60. Does anyone else want to go and have a go? 80 cents? Yeah, I'm happy with 80 cents. I mean, that's 1,000% capitalization based on what it's going to go and launch at. Marlene reckons times 100. Okay, cool. Chris reckons 40 cents at the end of next year, mate. All right. Lovely. Well, I mean, that's the beautiful thing. We don't have a crystal ball, but what's been put in place goes and gives me great confidence that we can go and see numbers that either go and get close to what we see here today or go and exceed far beyond our imagination. Next slide, please. Yeah, Ian, I would like to go and see it at $1 as well. All right. So the whitelist for the community. You don't have much time left, guys. It is no joke getting into the final hours of being able to go and get FNT. I believe that it goes and finishes up at 11:59 tonight CET or Moscow. I'm not exactly sure when, but I do know that it goes and ends specifically. It won't be available tomorrow. Something to think about. So if you have been, sitting on your hands a little bit thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm going to go and get any more FNT, or maybe this isn't, maybe I haven't gotten any FNT just yet. Like, yeah, I mean, now's the best chance. Otherwise, it's going to go and be the absolute last time that you're going to go and get it at these sort of prices. Even if you were to go and buy a 20-unit package, that's still going to give you a capitalization from 5.8 cents all the way up to 8 cents, because that's when it's actually going to go and get launched at. So win, lose, or draw, we've basically already gone and made a profit, guys, which is big happy days. Get those fire emojis in, get those rocket ships, go and get the love hearts, go and get the excitement pumping, because guys, seriously, this is incredible. Next slide, please. And if you don't go and have too many units also in the back office for, say, the bigger packages right now, but you know that you're going to go and be having some funds go and come through within the next few months, maybe consider getting some of the installment packages. You guys can go and take a screenshot of this if you'd like, so that it's all easy to go and understand. You've got the amount of FNTs that you go and receive per package. You go and have the number of monthly installments, what the installments would each go and be. So I've gone and made it really easy for everyone to go and understand, so that they can go and make the right educated decision as to whether this is right for them. Okay. So the more that we go and take off of the ecosystem, off of Evorich right now, means that there's going to be less when it moves on to the next set of sales. Just to go and clarify. And just on that note as well, we've been so lucky to go and be able to go and invest, say anywhere from 20 units all the way up to 15,000. This next platform, this next community that FNT is being shifted over for the next set of sales, the minimum that they have to go and pay in order to qualify for FNTs is 5,000 USDT. 5,000 USDT. Now, of course, they're going to go and get it at, a sizable amount from 5,000, but that is the entry point. This is another big reason as to why I believe firmly that Valentin's coming in at a very good space with a very big community who's going to go and take everything that we've been able to go and achieve and run it up so that we can go and be the ones holding the bag at the end. Who wants to go and be on the receiving end of that? Yeah, absolutely. Bisno, 100%. Marlene's absolutely on fire tonight. Yeah, Tom, never disappoint, mate. And Ian, I saw those hearts before with the flames around it. Love it, mate. Next slide, please. So, guys, if you haven't gone and seen any of the white paper please, 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 please jump on board fntworld.io. If someone could drop that link in the chat, I'd be forever grateful. Either that or take a screenshot of this QR code, jump onto the website. I know that there are some developments happening within the next few weeks and months in regards to the website, which will go and include some more vital information and more development to go and take us to that next sort of level before the launch, of course. So guys, make sure that you do go and have access to this white paper, because it will literally be your Bible and your guide to ensure that you've got all the information you need. Okay, next slide, please. So this is probably going to go and be my favorite slide that I've ever gone and done, guys, because, and I'll tell you a little story. I did this literally an hour before the before today's presentation, so I wanted to go and do something really amazing and put things into perspective. Truth be told, we as a community have not had a very easy couple of years. Would we agree? I think that's a unanimous yes. But you go and hear people go and share their frustrations, or their annoyance at some specific thing, or maybe perhaps they don't go and get a specific project, and they've had their entire worlds flipped upside down. And I wanted to go and put this into perspective to kind of go and quell the doubt that Evorich is still just as good as what it was once before, but it's just different. And Tom, don't take my thunder. I was going to go and hype that one up, right? So by the numbers, since we went and launched the whitelist on July the 28th, we've been doing this for the last 180 days, right? We've been able to go and bring in 8,112 packages out of 17.7 thousand that were allocated for this component of the whitelist. The average investment was 267 units. So some people went and bought the 15,000 packages. Some people went and bought 20. But regardless, everyone went and counted, and that's where the average investment was at 267 units. I think that's pretty good. Out of that, we've been able to go and reserve for our community 97,922,045 FNT. Guys, that's massive. That's had a incredible rate of 45.57%. And given the circumstances and the state that we were in from July through to now, my God, as a community, this has gone and exceeded expectations, especially for myself. Our most popular packages, I knew that the 100-unit package would go and be the most popular. I knew that that would be the case, and that's why we've got 385 still just sitting in the back office out of a total supply of 5,000. But what really blew my mind is the fact that we had almost the exact same percent of buy-up with the 15,000 unit packages. This is incredible, and it gives me confidence that whatever goes and happens after today, MLCI is still alive and well. Our average FNT holdings per package was 12,071 FNTs, which means, Birchie, if it does go and get to that $1 that you wanted, that you indicated before, that means that everyone's gone and turned effectively 267 units into 12,071, which is ridiculous capitalization. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, go and get the pom-poms ready. But of course, that 12,071 is already sitting at 965 units, right? So already there is a capitalization of 361.42% as an average, guys. This is incredible. Yes, Felicia, go and get the, yes, celebrate. It's amazing. So funds raised by us, by the community over the last 180 days for FNT, for GUP as well, to go and get the FinTech license and everything like that. We've gone and been able to go and raise, Tom, $2,166,610 for development, guys, for sustainability, for evolution of our projects. And of course, that 2,166,610, once the FNTs go and actually launch, will be at a capitalized worth collectively among our community at $7,833,763.60. Guys, this is incredible. I want to see fire emojis. No, keep on going, guys. I want to go and see huge, huge, huge outpours. We need to go and have some music go and come through. This is amazing. And when I was doing this slide in particular, I could not take the smile off of my face. And you don't have to go and thank me. You don't even have to thank Annette. You know, we're just here to go and share the information. What you guys went and did was you took that, you saw the potential that we did, and you just ran with it. You spoke to your downlines. You went and shared this amongst the Facebook groups. You went and backed certain leaders up when they were talking about FNT having such huge potential. You instilled the belief. We don't need to go and have the huge, I suppose, adoption that we went and saw in 2019 and 2020, because it was a different sort of world. But what we've indicated right here is that it doesn't matter how small every single person goes and actually puts in, or how little, together we can achieve some insane results. And I thank every single one of you. Next slide, please. And so this is basically it, right? We've done our job as co-owners. We've done our job as community. We've done our job as crypto enthusiasts. We've done our job in terms of being Valentin supporters and Mila supporters and the new economic evolution of the world supporters. This is just one more tick on a successful box. We've done this. And it's actually very, very fitting, because after we finish up today's webinar, my obligations to Global Unit Pay and FNT also go and cease. So I couldn't have done this without each and every single one of you. And Valentin wouldn't have been able to go and do it without each and every single one of you. He might not go and necessarily acknowledge it publicly, but we seriously couldn't. You know, it's you guys are what go and make us able to go and do everything. And 2 years ago, I never even dreamed that I'd be able to go and be in front of a camera. You know, on the opposite side of the country, I was a complete and utter no-name. But it was your belief and your support in some little upstart from Melbourne getting the opportunity of a lifetime, and it definitely felt like a lifetime. But to go and have this sort of experience, you can't go and put any quantitative value to what it has been worth. To even be considered the host for the anniversary event. And while you might not go and see me too much on camera for a while, I'm always going to be Evorich. I still bleed purple, white, and gold. And I'm only ever just, I suppose, a message away. But I will be back ready for the next project that I can go and attach my own reputation, my own integrity, with the same enthusiasm that you've all gone and seen as contagious. And I hope that each and every single one of you will go and join me once that project goes and rears its head. So without further ado, thank you so much once again. This is Aidan signing off for the very last time. Until next time. Thank you.